You're listening to Life Angels with Tracy Lynn, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Well, good evening. Welcome to Life Angels here on LA Talk Radio with your host, Tracy Lynn, life success coach for the health and fitness. We have two incredible people in the studio tonight. We have Miss Roseanne Kelly. Welcome back. She's my guest co-host tonight. You've seen her before. Actually, you haven't seen her. You've heard her before. She's a professional hypnotherapist. She's also a very dear friend of mine, and she's my personal hypnotherapist. So we can talk a little bit about that tonight. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you, sweetie. I always love being on your show. It's always so much fun.
I know, we do have fun, and we have an amazing guest in the show tonight. So we have Stephen Benedict, and he's a professional track athlete, and so sprinting is his thing. So we're going to talk about that. So welcome to the show tonight.
Excellent. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, we're excited. So we're going to be talking about your future, your career, what's going on for you, kind of how it all started and how it all began. You've got quite the career. So tell me where it all began for you.
I want to say it's a long story. There's a lot of twists and turns along the way, but they were all good life lessons and to bring me to the point where I am now. But I want to say that as early as maybe I was a runner in camp. They had this thing they called Camp Olympics, and they pretty much put against, they take all the fastest kids from all over the camps and all over the state, and they put them on this one track, and they kind of like just race them against each other. And that was really my first taste of track and field, which I really didn't even think of it as anything. It was just a run. I was just running and just running for the joy of it.
And how old were you?
I was probably about 7 or 8.
Oh, yeah. So it did begin young for you.
Yeah, it began young, but it really didn't click. It really didn't stick with me until I was a freshman year in high school.
Okay.
When my parents kind of pushed me into it, especially my mother, and the track and field coach had seen me on the football field and asked me to come out and try out for the team, which I was actually going to, for the winter team, which I was actually going to wrestle because I did 10 years of martial arts before that, which is my concentration in judo.
Okay.
So it was very similar.
Yeah.
So at my freshman year in high school, I wound up going out and winning freshman county championships as a freshman runner, and kind of just stuck with me ever since then. So I played football and track and field together for as long as I can remember.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I was a sprinter too. I like the 100-meter relays.
Okay.
So I was pretty fast. I was long. I was actually a lot taller. I shrunk over the years. I don't know how that happened, but everybody's so astonished by that. I used to be 5'9". I had bigger feet and I was taller. So something happened along the way over the last couple of years. But I was tall and lanky. I was really skinny. I obviously didn't have a lot of muscle on me at that time. But in high school, I was doing long jump, high jump, track and field. But I mean, I got a lot of awards, and obviously not clearly in the position that you're in. But I always loved it. I didn't really like the long distance ones. I found that a little bit monotonous for me. So.
Right.
I don't know how you feel about that. Passing the baton, I was always not very good at that part. I was kind of like, I was like trying to, stab somebody with it when I got to them, and they're like, okay, easy. I'm like, run, but it's a lot of fun. I love being an athlete. I've always played sports myself growing up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's tough because through high school, you're really not concentrating on one race at that time. It's pretty much that if you have a talent as far as running or in sprints or anything, the whole thing about high school is just gaining as many points for the team as possible. So the coach will utilize you in as many events as he can.
Yeah.
Every race. So not until pretty much my college years, and really my tail end of my college years, is when I really found out which was kind of like a good fit for me. So I concentrate on the 200 meters, which is a half a lap. So we'll run a turn and a straightaway. So when I train with my coaches. My coaches either, when you're a 200 guy, they either differentiate you as a 100-meter, 100-200 guy, or a 200-400 guy. So that's the difference in the breakdown of running.
And how do they determine that?
endurance-wise, how long you can maintain a top-end speed. So like
Okay.
the shorter explosive guys will run the 100 and 200.
Yeah.
The guys who kind of like build up into their races and can withstand a longer period of running at a higher velocity, they'll run either
Okay.
the 200, 400.
Wow.
Where did you go to college?
I went to URI, Rhode Island University on the East Coast, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they gave you some good training, huh?
They did, but it was really not conducive weather out there. It was so cold for sprinting.
Yeah, it's
What's
cold.
so
I'm from
cold?
Ohio. It's cold.
Like very
Yeah.
cold, like 12-inch snowbanks and
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
so you
and-
actually blow Canada away.
yeah, it was bad. It was bad up there. So, I would have been out here on the West Coast a lot earlier, but I wound up getting more scholarship money for school, so that's what kind of ultimately played the decision.
Yeah. And so what is I'm so curious. I always love to talk to athletes and people, in the position that you're in. And what is your training schedule like? I mean,
it's-
like, what's a day in the life of Steven? What's it like for you?
It really depends on what part of the season is that I usually tell people when they ask me, what is a typical training session or a typical training week? And that really depends on what part of the season you're in. So from anywhere from like September to, say like December, that's all our preseason. So the volume's very high.
Okay.
We're on the track. We don't even see the track probably until November. So we're doing
Okay.
a lot of long road runs and hill work and beach runs, things like that, just to really build up our fitness levels and our strength levels, so that when we go to our speed work later in the season, that our body doesn't break down and we don't tear any muscles. So
Okay.
yeah, the
Makes
preseason is
sense.
super, super important for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think with any sport it is too,
Right.
because as my fitness, right now is the time for me that I have to build the muscle and get in good shape, so that when I peel down the layers of kind of strip down the layers of the body fat,
Right.
then what I uncover is my finished package.
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing in itself. I love that too. So you're doing beach runs; those are hard.
Yeah, they're very hard, especially the way our coach has them set up. So pretty much we'll go out to the beach and he'll have us run out for 12 minutes. So we'll have to run out 12 minutes, and at that 12-minute mark, we'll have to turn around and try to make it back to our start in 8 minutes. So,
Wow.
yeah, so-
Okay.
That's hard.
Yeah,
That
that's-
is hard. Have you
it's
ever
very
ran in the
hard.
sand before?
Yes, once, a very long time ago.
You're like,
And
someone
I
forced
never
me,
needed to
and I'm
do that
never doing it
again.
again.
Yes.
Yeah, it is difficult. So, what about your regimen too? Are you lifting weights as well, part of your program?
Yes, we do lift a lot of heavy weights early in the season. For me, it really depends on the body type too. For me, I'm one of the bigger guys, and I really
Okay.
have an issue. The hardest part of my training is my weight maintenance. So if I start lifting heavy, I put on muscle very quickly,
Okay.
and that's really not conducive for sprinting. As far as you need to be light and efficient, and pack as much power in the lightest body frame as possible.
Yeah,
So
I can
yeah.
imagine. And how many coaches do you have?
I have one main coach. His name's Darrell Smith. He's the nephew of John Smith, who is probably one of the greatest sprinting coaches.
Yeah, I read that.
in all time.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
so we
That's
all
great.
train out of UCLA.
Okay.
And there's 3 main camps there. There's our camp, Bobby Kersey's camp, and John Smith's camp, and those are the 3 pretty much biggest camps in the world where they produce a
Wow.
lot of the biggest athletes there. So we're there from the pros. Actually, they train from anywhere from like 9 to 12. So, so
Wow, that's crazy. And okay, so I read somewhere too that you're getting into film. Is that right?
I am. I'm trying.
Are you allowed to talk about this?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
that's
of course.
exciting.
As many things on my plate as possible right now. Try to keep me busy, and obviously I can't run forever, so I have to kind of build other things. So I've done a lot of fitness work, magazine work, writing, but and then a lot of commercials work, a lot of commercial work. I just finished up the newest Reebok campaign for the newest running shoe, the Z Pump.
Oh,
Very cool.
awesome! Congratulations.
Yeah.
So-
Wow, that's great.
very
But
cool.
yeah, it was 3 days of really pretty intense filming, and
Yeah.
the video footage came out great. It was a really great experience, but ultimately, I want to kind of push into that direction of film, and I see myself kind of going the way of like a 300 type movie, action films, and like a GI
Awesome.
Joe movie. That's what I'd really like to do. So
Oh, that's on
Super
your
cool.
bucket list.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Yeah, you've been in some magazines as well. So what magazines have you been in?
I've been in a lot actually. Every time I shoot for a magazine, I always tell them I'd like to write the article for it. So
Okay.
I'm known as two entities, not just a pretty face. You know, I do have a mind. I do know what I'm talking about a little bit. So
That's always a
good.
bonus.
But recently, the most recent one I did was Fitness RX. That was
Yep.
that was back in January. So there was about a 12-page story on me there. So I wrote all the program there, and we shot it out in Pasadena.
Okay.
And then I've done men's health, men's fitness, Fitness RX, which I said fitness for men.
Yeah.
So there's a lot on the table. I'm always trying to do the next one, but they're really not
Gotta
that
always,
big of pay.
Yeah, you got to always keep moving, but you got to
Right.
keep your face in the game. And that's the biggest thing, especially with our industry, because, there's always someone younger and there's someone,
Faster.
with a better look so you got to kind of just keep your face in there all the time. I find, especially with our industry, because it's so saturated, there's, a lot of pretty faces, a lot of nice bodies, and a lot of people that are very healthy and very fit. So having said that, you have to keep on point with your diet all the time. So your nutrition plan, what's that like?
My nutrition plan, you know what?
Do you have a nutrition coach, or are you doing that yourself?
I don't right now. Actually, I was reaching out to a couple companies. So anybody out there that's listening, I was reaching out to a couple companies as far as meal plan companies. So I've reached out to, like the ready food meals that they have.
I've got someone for you.
Okay, excellent.
Yes, I have someone
Awesome.
for you. Okay, yeah, I'll give you the details after,
Okay.
but I have the perfect person for you, and she's amazing, and she does all the meal prep stuff. I'm actually going to be working with her as well, and we're going to be actually hopefully bringing in my
right.
bringing in my
That's good.
protein bars, my TLC Unleashed bar, protein bar. Yeah, so we're working on that right now. So
awesome.
it's going to be a lot of fun. But the meals are amazing. Yesterday we
Okay.
were trying some and looking at some. I've been working with a few different meal prep companies, but
Right.
this is the one that I found is the best. And especially for athletes like ourselves that need that nutrition, you have to be very well balanced and not a lot of sodium and not too many carbs. Like but it's specific to you. It's not just for me. So it's awesome. I'll set you up with her.
Okay,
though.
that would be excellent because
Yeah.
that's a huge part of my diet. As part of my training is my diet, obviously for recovery purposes, so I can get back out there the next day and train for another 3-4 hours.
So 3-4 hours of training. So I thought, okay, I'm training like 3-4 hours a day. That's a lot, but the great thing about that is funny because when I put all my athletes on programs and stuff, I always put sprints at the end of their program because, and that's what I do at the end of my workouts before just about 4 weeks out of my competition prep, because that's when I get the leanest.
Right.
So I love it. So sprinting is awesome. I actually like to go to the track and do sprints. I like it. It's much more fun than being on the treadmill inside the gym but it's really good for conditioning. If you want to lean out, that's definitely, I recommend that.
Definitely.
You obviously know.
I mean,
He's the man to tell you right here.
Definitely. So I mean, that's another big thing too, is that I've seen the fitness industry move and shift in that way in the past several years, is that whatever you've seen as far as bodybuilders and how they used to be the big staple for everything, that's really out of the way now, and it's more functional, more useful muscle and explosive muscle. So if you look at a lot of bodybuilders, they actually in some way, shape, or form in their programs, it's very conformed to sprinters. What we do.
Yeah. And I know some old school bodybuilders, it's funny because they watch me, some of them watch me train and they see me in the gym. And this is more so back home when I was training in the gyms there. And they would just be like shaking their head because they'd be watching me do like jump lunges and jump squats in between my sets. But that's the way I stay conditioned. I mean, I'm not just in there lifting weights and lifting super heavy. I'm doing high reps, low weight, and, doing the jump squats and sprints and, pushing sleds with weight on it and doing battle ropes and stuff like that. But I love that style of training. It's so much more fun than just sitting in there, lifting a weight, moving from one machine to the next. So for me, I just absolutely love that style of training. And then getting out there, getting in the fresh air and doing some sprints on the track.
Right.
Yeah, I love the parachutes too. That's awesome. Do you guys work with those?
We actually don't. I have a couple other a couple other apparatuses that we work with as far as over speed training and things like that. But it really is just about repetition for us on the track and just kind of getting the quality reps. So at the beginning of our season, it's all about quantity, and then it switches as we get more into our race season. It becomes more quality than quantity.
Okay, good. Yeah, absolutely. And what drives you to keep you your best all the time? Like, what motivates you? You know,
Yeah,
'cause-
what's your big goal? What's your ultimate win in this area of your life?
Ultimately, obviously, is to be at the next Olympic Games. You know, just the experience. I mean, just the experience to be there, and just to breathe in the atmosphere, be around the people, and obviously, you want to win a medal, you want to walk away with a medal, but just to be in that realm of elite athletes. I mean, those are so you figure for the U.S. team, they take, just for the Olympic trials, they take top 30 in the nation, and from that top 30,
Wow.
they take top 3 plus another 1 or 2 alternates, depending for like relay pools and things like that.
yeah.
So it's very slim pickings for the U.S. So right now, what I'm working on is actually getting dual citizenship for Italy.
Good. And aren't you preparing for the
Right.
Olympics right now?
Right, correct.
Okay,
Yes.
good. So how do you prepare for the Olympics?
A lot of patience. A lot of patience.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, a lot of patience, which I don't have a lot of.
No.
No.
Yeah, it's always a work in progress for me too. I've been put with a lot of things in front of me that are teaching me a lot of patience lately, though. So I think I'm getting better at it every day. It's like
You
be
are.
careful what you ask for, because all of a sudden it'll be like, bam, that's in front of you, that's in
Right.
front of you.
That's right.
And you get those hard lessons, like you said in the beginning, but you definitely all learn from them. So what if there's anything that we can say for our listeners and our viewers out there, what motivates you? What keeps your head in the game? And we're going to dive into this, because we're going to talk about our specialist and our professional hypnotherapist across the way here in a minute, and talk about, because this sport that you're doing is a mental game. I mean, when you're about to hit that track, what goes through your head? What do you say to yourself? What do you repeat over and over to keep yourself motivated?
You know what? That's the thing that's constantly a work in progress for me. I've picked up a lot of meditating for myself, especially in the morning when I wake up, and just try to keep myself as calm as possible. And then my biggest motivation, I have to say, are my parents. Because me and my brother, another piece of our story is that my brother and I, at a very young age, we lived in a foster home for about 4 years, and then we were blessed enough to be adopted by 2 great parents. One was a teacher,
Wow.
and one was he was an ex-Vietnam veteran and went into the financial district for Merrill Lynch. But they gave us a lot. They introduced us a lot. Got us both well-rounded gentlemen, and we both graduated college with our degrees. And my brother is back on the East Coast. He just got married about a year ago, so he's going that route. And I moved totally out west. Because there was a lot of red flags back home, because the other staple, kind of like stepping stone in our life, is that we wound up losing both our adopted parents within the past about 6 years.
That's hard. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so it was 2 extreme situations, but kind of we've had a lot of life experiences. My mother, we lost her to bone marrow cancer. And then my father was just a freak accident while he was visiting his brother down in Florida.
I'm
so
sorry.
yeah, so it was it was a rough time for us, and it took a toll on our relationship a lot. But at this point, we're very close. We've always been very close, and I'm chasing something big out here, and he's developing a very family-oriented life, which is great, and he's got a great job, at Hunter Douglas as one of the biggest finance places for himself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Sounds like he's doing well.
he is.
Yeah.
He's doing very well. I'm very
It's
proud of him.
amazing. Yeah, and that's amazing how that works. My family story is kind of a little bit similar to that, because my sister's back home. My big sister is back home. Shout out to my sister Carrie, and she's got the family and the kids, the 3 kids and stuff like that. And I came out to California to get my career going, and it's just been, when my mom passed away 4 years ago from cancer, it was one of those things where it was like, I never wanted to move away, because I didn't want to leave my mom. I was her little baby, and she was like, "You're not moving anywhere. You're not leaving me," kind of thing. So, I went through a really hard time, the same thing, and it was really, really hard for me, the loss of my mom. And, I just really catapulted my career to get to the next level, because I really wanted to make her proud, and I really wanted to do the things that I always talked about. I was always an athlete. I was into soccer and baseball, and it was just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this, Mom. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do it for me. And when I moved here, it was like amazing because everything just kind of fell into place. And, it's like every single day, I just look up, to heaven and I'm like, thank you, Mom. Thanks for that drive. Thanks for that motivation. Because, you're always continuously wanting to make them proud, no matter, if they're here or not. So that's the thing for me. It's like, the careers go different ways, but your family is your family. They're always going to be close, they're always going to be connected no matter where they are.
Exactly. Totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let's talk about, I want to talk about, is there anything that goes through your mind before you hit the track? Because for me, I always kind of like to try to associate it. When I'm about to hit the stage and I'm about to compete, I get really bad nerves. Like well, Roseanne will tell you.
You're
because
getting better.
she hasn't seen it yet, but we've been working together because I'm very high energy, as you probably all know. And so the thing for me is I have to contain this energy. So for me, when I get to stage, I get adrenaline, I get excitement, I get nerves and all these things. So, it's positive affirmations, it's all these things I have to tell myself, and the meditation really works. So is there something that you do, a ritual, before you get on the track?
One thing that I started doing that, because I get super terrible anxiety.
Oh, you do too? Okay.
Especially in my 200 race. So,
okay.
And it just tears me apart is in the sense that during practice, I'll have great practices. I'll be running, great times, and on point to be running spectacular during a race. And then once I get to a race, I get so much anxiety built up that I'm burning out my nervous system.
Yeah.
And my legs turn to jello, and I wind up coming off the turn, and I just blow up. So I've had that experience.
What do you mean by blow up? You mean your legs like tremble? Or?
I just lose all
burnout
as far as like endurance wise. I get
gassed.
Yeah,
so you
I get
burn
gassed totally out. Like my energy levels are totally
Just
spent
drops.
before I even get onto the track because I'm working myself up so much so that my nervous system's revving up so much that
I can totally relate. Yeah. So this is why it's a good thing that we brought Roseanne today, because this is what I work with. I do a lot of hosting events and fitness shows and things like that, and emceeing gigs. And Roseanne, before my first MC gig out here, I was doing the Muscle Mania fitness show, and I was pretty excited. I was very excited. I'm lying, and I was nervous, and I was just like, okay, Roseanne, you got to help me because I got to contain my energy, and I also I like to be organized. I like to be in control of things. I like to know what's, like a schematic, and I had no idea what it was going to look like. So to me, I didn't have a visualization. And so that's what Roseanne helped me with. It was like visualizing, so say for you, the track, or visualizing the win, visualizing me speaking into the microphone, smiling. And it was incredible. I got on that stage and I've never smiled so bright in my life. Like it was like I owned that stage, and I felt so proud, and I couldn't even believe it. And I wasn't when I was in the moment, I wasn't thinking, holy crap, or this or that. And I wasn't worried at all. I just thought, wow, I got this. And that was the first time that I've ever in my life felt like that. Right. And it was from the hypnotherapy.
Right.
Because there's no way I could have done that because, but she gave me this visualization where it was like, you're going to see the stage, you're going to see the people, you're going to feel it, you're going to feel the energy, you're going to feel the people talking and whatever's going on around you. So I could feel it, and I had a sense of control. Right. So, I think that, maybe we could talk about that. So tell us, Roseanne, what you specialize in, because this is perfect for you.
Well, interestingly enough, I have several specialties, but lately, in the past few years, since my daughters have started high school, all of a sudden, I'm meeting their friends, and they know a lot of athletes, and so I started working with kids a lot in the past few years, teenagers, and test anxiety, memorizing, study skills, all this kind of stuff, but also. So my daughters were in a dance class, and their dance teacher, who's a real sweetheart, also was the coach for the drill team. The girls who twirl the rifles and the flags.
Yes, yep.
And they were having lots of performance anxiety. And when she found out that I was a hypnotherapist, she asked me if I could help them. And so then I really got into it. So I was working with all these girls. I was working with them individually, also as a group. And then one of my daughters, Emily, started dating the star punter of the football team at El Camino Real Charter High School, and he is an amazing athlete. He's been training, to be an NFL football player since he was 6 years old. Very serious stuff. So I'm familiar with all the training camps that you were talking about, because I've just been recently introduced to how this whole system works. And so, he was training to hopefully get a full ride football scholarship to a Division I school. So I started working with him too. And it's basically and it makes a difference. It gives you the edge. Basically, what we do, and what Tracy was talking about, the art of creative visualization, which you can do on your own. However, it's actually much easier when you have an operator. I would be the operator.
Yes.
Because I'm not affected by it because I'm not in it, so I can be a lot more logical. And so I actually have you visualize step by step, before, during, after. So you get to have the full experience, training for it, and then actually performing it, and then actually getting the rewards of a job well done. And for you, that would be winning an Olympic medal. And I know that sounds like kind of airy-fairy to some people, but it really does work. And there was a famous study, and I learned this in hypnotherapy college about 20 years ago. And it wasn't anything to do with hypnotherapy, it was just about visualization. And they took two groups of men. One group of men were very good basketball players, and the other group had never played at all, ever. And then, so the men who had never played, they had them visualize, playing basketball and winning and doing really well for 20 minutes every day for X amount of time. I can't remember exactly what that was. Maybe it was a couple weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month. Probably 21 days, because that's what it takes to create or a good new habit or to break a bad habit. And at the end of that experiment, they had them play with each other. And so remember, the guys who were visualizing never played. They only played in their head. And amazingly, they did just as well, and I do believe slightly better than the guys who actually played in real life. And I was really impressed with that.
I love it.
And so since then, I've done some research, because I've been working with all these athletes in high school, and I didn't even realize that, most of the top athletes all over the world in all kinds of sports have used hypnotherapy, to improve their game. And Jack Nicklaus, Michael Jordan, all the big names.
Yeah, and sports psychologists, Tiger Woods, like all these guys. That's why I asked you how many coaches you have, because, it takes a team to, really build and create an athlete, because, people ask me all the time, they're like, you have a coach? And I go, yeah, I've got a couple of coaches. I got a hypnotherapist, I got a trainer, I got a coach, I got a nutritionist, because we need help too. And it's, the bigger your team is, the better you're going to do. I think it's almost like I can look at it like a visualization. The visualization technique that she's doing is almost like a guided meditation. So you're familiar with a little bit of meditation as well, you were saying. And that's the way, because it's just like you go down that path and you really see it and you just get to feel it, and like you've been there before.
Yes. Well, here's why it works. So the brain processes an actual memory of a real live event that you experienced. So it processes that, right? Now, when you visualize something, your brain doesn't know the difference. Okay, it thinks it's real. It processes the visualization in the same way that a real memory is processed. So now when that drops into the subconscious mind, all of a sudden it's no longer an unknown. Okay, so it eliminates fear of the unknown. For you, okay, for instance, that live event, because that event was huge.
Yeah, it was.
And it was star-studded, it was really glamorous, and and you were the MC of that, and it was a big deal. And so once you actually visualize a successful run, right, a dress rehearsal in your mind, all of a sudden your brain says, okay, I've done this before. I know how to do it. Now I'm more comfortable. And the more you repeat it, if you do that on a daily basis, which, like I said, the top athletes are doing this on a daily basis, all of a sudden it just becomes normal, comfortable.
Yeah.
Old hat. No problem. I do this every day. I got this. It's not a problem. And so you actually feel it in your body, because I help you create that. It's a visceral experience. And so, when I ask you to visualize it and you feel the nerves, and then, I give you suggestions. Now you're going to feel calmer. Take a deep breath. Look at the audience, enjoy them, look at their smiling faces. They're loving you and they're supporting you, and you're comfortable and you're enjoying yourself, and you're calm, you're focused, you're articulate, all these things. So I flood your subconscious with all these suggestions, and I have you do it over and over again. And then, so that eliminates stage fright. It's clinically called performance anxiety or anticipatory anxiety.
Yes.
So the more you do it, the easier it is to actually then execute that in real life. And then once you, get rid of the nerves, then you can actually enjoy the experience. you know?
Yeah,
Right.
and that's the biggest thing because, I mean, we work so hard to get to where we are. And it's like, I want to enjoy this experience. And that was the biggest thing that I said to Roseanne. I was like, I just want to be able to not want to wish that it's over. Because when I go on stage and I'm competing, I've worked a full year, if not more, to get on the stage. And then I'm like dreading going up there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want to get off the stage. And I'm thinking, why did I work so hard to be up here, to be so scared and want to be off the stage? So I was like, I got to change this. I got to fix this because I want to enjoy this experience. I want to take it in. I want to absorb it. I want to feel it in my body. And I want to, have a memory that lasts a lifetime. And that's the same for you because I can really relate when you said your body burns out and you get that. Because I walk off the stage and I feel like I've ran a marathon myself because I'm just like, I'm so exhausted, not just from posing, but I'm so exhausted from the adrenaline and the anxiety and the nerves going through me that I just feel like I've been completely beaten up. And so I would love for you to be able to experience this because it's just such a phenomenal experience. And I know people have a lot of, things about what they think about what hypnotherapy is. And, I always thought it was like some kind of voodoo and stuff like that. I always laugh because I told Roseanne, I was like, I don't really know what this is. And I don't know if I like it. I don't want to try it. But people said it was kind of weird. So I don't know if I should do it. And she just kind of laughed. She's like, don't worry about it. You're okay. But it's like going into a session and having somebody give you positive affirmations over and over and over, and you just feel like you not wake up, you come, to, and you just feel like you've been programmed with like such a positive mindset that it's like nothing can touch you. I mean, you just feel invincible. You feel like magnetic. It's just the energy is exuding from you. I leave there, I'm just like, I feel so well rested too. I think I fell asleep once for like a second.
Yeah.
I was like, did I fall asleep? She goes, yes, you did. But it was only for a minute. So
Well, just think about what a specific singular experience that is. What other area of your life do you just get to just relax and have someone tell you how fabulous you are for
Never.
an hour straight, right? It's like,
Yeah.
that's highly effective. It's a
Very.
real self-esteem booster and a confidence booster because you can't leave that kind of experience and not be powerfully affected. So for you, so you're having these nerves, this anxiety that's making you burn out, and that's actually an easy fix because I can help you take that anxiety and transform that into excitement. And, I worked with Tracy with other competitions. We usually do one right before she competes. But we only did one session for that first big one. And you were done. You nailed that.
Yeah, and I didn't even second guess it because I thought, okay. And it was pretty big for me coming from Canada. I had a huge opportunity to, take a spot of somebody that's been doing this Muscle Mania shows for years and years and years. So for me, it was a big deal. So I wanted to nail it. And so, I knew what an opportunity, and I was so grateful to be offered that position. So for me, I had a lot of pressure on me. So it was like, okay, no pressure, Roseanne, but I have to nail this.
I'm like, no problem.
Yeah.
We're going to get it.
So
And
yeah,
you did.
but hypnotherapy, I think it's a great thing. Where can we find you, Roseanne, so that our listeners and viewers can find you so that if they do want to use your services, they know how to get in touch with you?
Well, you may call me on my direct line at area code 818-644-1778. Once again, that's 818-644-1778. Also, you can check me out on my website. My biography is up there. Some of my personal history. There's some free downloads, which are cool. I also specialize in dream therapy. And that's my name. It's roseannekelly.com. That's RoseanneKelley.com. roseannekelly.com. Thanks for
Beautiful.
asking.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. And I'll give you that information too. But so
definitely.
I want to talk about too, like what kind of supplementation do you use? Because I know a lot of people have the thoughts and ideas of what supplements, are and what we shouldn't be taking. Like, do you recommend anything that you put in, like BCAAs, glutamine, anything like that?
There's definitely, there's definitely especially in this day and age, there's a flooded market of supplements. So as an athlete, you really have to be careful about what you put into your body and how your body reacts to it. So you got to really know how you react to things and what type of athlete you really are. But I definitely use branched chain amino acids for post recovery and throughout the day. And then as far as protein strands, I really have developed a liking towards more of the organic proteins.
Oh, okay.
I've stayed away from a lot of the whey proteins because I find that it Some of the ways they cause inflammation, they cause water retention in your body.
You mean whey as in gluten?
No, whey protein. So,
Yeah, but what's
Okay.
that made
so
from
it's
though?
it's
WHEY, right?
yes.
Yeah, what's it
Yes.
made from though?
it depends. It could be made from eggs. It could be made from it has gluten in it.
Oh,
You know,
really?
so everybody's body is allergic at some level to a certain amount of things. You may not see a huge reaction to it, but at some level, obviously if you have a little water retention, there's an allergy going on there. Your body's giving off water as an apprehensive for whatever you put into your body.
And it's trial and error,
Yeah,
really,
very
too.
much so.
And that's what a lot of people are always asking me, what kind of supplements to take? Should I take this? Should I take that? But again, it's all of our bodies are so different. So, listen to your body, what you like, what works for you. So I would try different things and then, try it for 4 days. If you don't feel good, or, I'm having this one with my one client, and she's trying this product that I swear by. So I'm not going to say the name of it, but, and it doesn't work for her. And that's okay, because, it may be just the carbs in it are too much for her system, and she just doesn't feel good from it. She feels actually lethargic from it, where I'm actually getting energy from it. So it's just, you really have to listen to your body. Like creatine, anything like that.
Creatine I can't take. I get way too big off of creatine. Some
Yeah.
athletes do. They take it early in the season to really help build up strength wise.
Okay.
But that's another thing too that you can have an adverse effect to, as far as water weight gain and things
Yeah.
like that. So I really stick to my vitamins, and I stick to.
And what are your vitamins?
I've taken this vitamin. It comes in a package. It's called Damage Control. So it really has
Okay.
it's a pharmaceutical grade. It really
Okay.
has everything you need as far as recovery wise.
Yeah.
And then I take branched chain aminos, and then obviously I said like an organic protein with basically like plant-based.
So
or anything
plant-based,
like that,
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I did the plant-based for a while too. I actually really like it. I don't like the flavor as much, but you kind of get used to it, and you blend it up with some greens and things like that too. But yeah, I love to hear, what athletes are doing for supplementation, because it's so big, especially with the BCAAs, the branched chain amino acids. A lot of my clients are always sore after training with me, so they're just like, what can I do? And, taking the BCAAs has helped with their recovery so much.
Yeah.
So if I can suggest anything, that's definitely what I would suggest. Also, too, do you use a foam roller, or what's your methods of stretching, things like that?
I do. I have foam rollers that I use. After our initial warm up, we'll run that through our body, and where our legs areas that are tight, and we'll hold it on a specific area just to loosen that up, and then we'll go into our dynamic work, which is all our drills, our speed drills, and things like that. So.
Do you have someone that stretches you?
No, I don't. Everything for us is not really when you're an athlete and you're really trying to perform as much as possible and put out as much power as possible per each rep, you really have to. The biggest thing that not a lot of coaches have been doing, which baffles me at this day and age, is that you need to do dynamic work before static work. So static work is all holding stretches for roughly about anywhere from like 30 to 40 seconds, elongating that muscle. The dynamic work is going in and out of the range of motion. So like leg swings and quad pulls and knee hugs, things like that. We're holding in and out for, maybe like 5 seconds. So you're gradually warming up the body, priming the nervous system, getting ready for it to perform.
Good. Okay. So you do recommend the foam rollers, though?
I do. Foam rollers are good, especially if you're tight. Some of the camps down at the track, they have actually massage therapists that are there on site. So they'll scoop us out, rub us out, clean out any of our muscles. I have other doctors that I go to. One in Pasadena, Dr. Brown. He's a chiropractor. ART work is active release technique. So
I saw that. Actually, I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
what's that?
Oh,
That sounds interesting.
It's not
Can you
interesting.
explain? Well, I've done the roll thing, so biomechanics, and that I thought was painful. But can you explain what that is?
So active release technique is ART work is very in depth for athletes, as far as for mobility wise, and when you build up a lot of acid in your body and a lot of from training, you have a lot of adhesions in your body and things like that. So I went in. I was just at my doctor yesterday, and when they work on me, they have actually 2 people working on me at once because you really need that range of motion.
Yeah.
Right.
So he'll actually he'll apply pressure to one of the heads of the muscle, and then they'll go through a range of motion. So you have to do an exercise while he's applying pressure, so you're getting that mobility work and loosening up the muscle before he actually goes into an adjustment or cleaning out the muscle with a aggregation tool, which is kind of it's a metal tool that scrapes through the muscle to clean out all the buildup that's in
The
there.
look on Roseanne's face right now
Yeah.
is priceless.
So you mean apply pressure?
It's
on
scraping.
top of the
It's
skin?
Yes.
It actually kind of looks like a shoehorn, kind of
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that, like
I'm
a.
getting that
So
visual.
and it
Yeah.
has like a lubricant on it, so it scrapes
Ah.
through the muscle, and you're doing an
Ow.
exercise through that. So he's kind of cleaning out the muscle and getting that flexibility and that blood flow back in there so that it can heal right. Yeah.
Wow.
So-
That's dedication.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
So torture, but
Good for
the end
you.
result is good. You're like, good for you, and I will never try that.
Yeah, I'll just watch you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched actually a little clip, a video on Instagram of some guy getting it done, and I was just like wincing in pain almost. I couldn't even watch because it just looks. I mean, I've never had anything like that done. I don't know if I could handle it.
It's tough. I mean, if it's your first time and you haven't done anything like that, and you do have some buildup in there, you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna feel it for the day or 2 after. There may be some bruising on the skin.
Yeah,
because
don't you? Because
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like it was like complete like bruise the whole skin.
If it's his first time, if you don't have any buildup, it depends on how deep he goes, how hard he goes. Obviously, there's going to be more breakup that he has to get in there. But after a few times, your muscles are pretty used to it, and you build up a tolerance to it. I'm still yelling out 4-letter words in there with the door closed, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'm like,
For a
I would
good
probably
reason.
hurt this person.
Yeah, but why does he have to use a tool? It's like, why can't you accomplish that with like acupressure, puncture,
Well,
massage?
because the fingers aren't hard enough to clean out the muscle. You're not, I mean, obviously there's a little give in your muscle tendons,
Right.
just like anybody else. So
Right.
for the pressure point area, like the ART work itself, he uses his hands, and he'll use his fingers, and he'll use applying pressure to the specific head of the muscle. But as far as cleaning out the muscle, you need a tougher tool to really scrape through, because your hands aren't going to break up any calcium
Right.
deposits or anything like that.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently it works.
Yes, it does. Yeah, Rolfing, because my Rolfer back home in Canada, we'd call them elbows. And Vernon, oh my gosh. And he would be like stretching and, and putting his elbows through your leg and stuff. And I mean, it's just the most excruciating pain ever. But you feel like a new person when you walk out of there, because you actually can be upright, and it's really, really good. So any tips, any, things that we can take away that we can give to our listeners and viewers? Because, I'm all about educating and motivating people. What do you do to stay on track? What's the biggest tip that you can give to all these people to let them know how to stay on track and how to be motivated for something so important like this?
I think the biggest thing for all of us, whether we're athletes, whether we're in the business world, in any aspects of our lives where we're trying to accomplish and live at a higher level, is that one of the biggest things that I've learned is that how to deal with frustrations on a daily basis. And the biggest frustration that anybody can get nowadays, whether they're trying to really, going for an audition or, going for a new job, is that fear of getting that answer of no.
Fear of rejection.
Yes.
Rejection is
Without
not
a
doubt,
fun.
without a doubt.
No,
And,
not fun.
Yeah.
No.
It's totally a dream killer, and you have to be able to, you have to be able to really be able to handle a no, and be like, all right, well, then that's your loss, and on to the next one, because I know my bigger yes is coming down the road.
That's
So-
great.
That's
I
called
love that.
Failing your way to success.
Yes.
It is.
And this happens every day. I mean, we have rejection all around the place, whether it's personal, business, anything, family, like all the time. So I love that. Say that quote one more time.
Oh, failing your way to success.
Yes, that's
Yes,
so
very
true,
true.
because it's going to happen. We're going to get a lot of disappointments in life, and it's really the way we handle it. I think it's just having a positive attitude, positive mindset,
Yeah.
and really just, like what you said, I always think, now I've got to the point where in my life I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of do a little laugh and I go, okay, even if it may hurt, whatever it may be, go, okay, good, something better's coming. I'm like, thank you.
Exactly.
There you go, chalk it up. I'm like, next experience, here we go. So it's kind of exciting too in the same time when we're rejected or something doesn't work out the way we want it to. It's because it's a new beginning right around the corner.
Definitely.
Well, the whole fear of rejection thing, because I work with a lot of actors, because I live in LA.
Right.
I have a ton of clients who are actors, in all different phases of their career. Some of them are celebrities, and some of them are just starting out, and most of them are somewhere in the middle. But hypnotherapy is a wonderful remedy for that, because you start looking at it, you start understanding and integrating the truth, which is it's just a business, and it's an interview.
Yeah.
And so what I mainly do with them is just to help them to not take it personally. Okay, because once you stop taking it personally, you walk in, you do your best, which is your job, for every single audition, which is an interview, and you walk out feeling good about that, and then you forget about it.
Right.
And you don't take it personally anymore. And then it doesn't ruin the rest of your day or the rest of your week.
Yeah, let it go. I love that too. It's one of the 4 agreements in the Toltecan principles. I love that book. It's amazing because, I always think about things, how I react to things. And I think, okay, am I taking this personal? Is this personal? Even if it is personal, it's okay. Just let it go, just dismiss it. And because, we're really affected by things because, as women, we're a little bit more, we're affected by things and we're a little more sensitive,
more emotional.
Yes, well, there are some guys out there too that are, but, the thing is like, that's what I'm really learning is not to take things personal. So that's a really
Makes
good
life
takeaway.
so much easier.
Right.
Yeah, because it's not about you because, there's other things going on for people that we don't even know. So I'm so excited for your career, for your future. I'm excited for what you're doing. And I'm going to be sending out positive, good vibes. I hope that you and Roseanne can connect,
Definitely.
because I want that Olympics for you.
Yeah.
I can visualize it.
That's
so I want
amazing.
you to as well because, it's right there. So, never stop chasing your dream because, I'm a firm believer of, just shooting high and shooting for the stars because, there's just the only way up, only way to go is up. And you've definitely got a long way to go. So you got this.
So do you have Olympic trials coming up or it's coming up really soon, right?
Not till next, I think they moved them back a month. So they'll be in July and then the games will be in August.
Okay.
So it's
Exciting.
So do you do many competitions in between or?
Right now I'm back in my preseason. So we're just kind of finishing up. I'm actually getting prepared and finishing up, actually getting ready to go over to Italy for a couple months and train over there and establish my contacts there and work with a few of the coaches there and obviously regain my Italian speaking and
regain it. So you have some?
I did have some. When I spoke a lot more when I was younger when my grandparents were around and obviously as we get older and we don't have that contact anymore, we kind of not use it as much.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you'll get it back. It's like
riding
a bike.
Your subconscious mind doesn't forget anything, but it stores it in a different file if you're not actively using it every day. But as soon as you get back into that environment, it just comes right back.
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to put that on my bucket list too. I'm still learning the Spanish and I want to give a shout out to my client, David. I hope that you're watching. I think that you are. And I just want to say that I'm super proud of you for all the progress that you've made and all the tenacious work that you've done. And also he teaches me Spanish, 17-and-a-half-year-old kid. And we laugh and he calls me his gym mom. So shout out to you, David. Awesome. I think you're awesome. You're amazing. Keep going. Keep, pushing hard. So, and I'll see you tomorrow for your workout. So I wanted to say thank you so much to Stephen Benedict for coming on the show tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And to Roseanne Kelly, hypnotherapist and amazing woman. So again, how can we find you, Stephen, on social media?
You can find me all over the place, but the main place that's coming out right now is my new website. It's stevieb.com. So it's STEVIEYB.com, and it's one of the biggest things. It's going to be a very, very dynamic website because I'm bringing the athlete realm to the general public as far as motivation wise, and it's all, the company is called Empowering Movement.
Very nice.
Very
I love
nice.
it. And my new website will be launched at the end of this month, TLC Unleashed. And you can also find me at the Anaheim Fit Expo. I'll be there on August 22nd and 23rd. I'll have my own booth. It'll be booth 111. It'll also be with Jerome Hollywood Ferguson. Shout out to my coach. He's amazing. So we're going to have a lot of fun there. We're also going to have Devin Corey, my photographer and my videographer. I know he's out there right now. So hey, Devin, sorry you couldn't come in. And Dan Kennedy, also celebrity photographer for all of us as well. And shout out to all you guys. I want to give a shout out to all my sponsors, NutriShop Woodland Hills, Thousand Oaks, Tavina, Vitargo, Setwear Fitness. Thank you for the new gloves. I used them today. They're awesome. And Roseanne Kelly for all that you do and all your help. To my coach again, Jerome Ferguson, for all the training and putting me through brutal workouts. So I've got my competition coming up on December 10th at the Excalibur at MPC. So hopefully next stop will be IFBB Pro. And you can find me www.LA Talk Radio video channel every Wednesday at 7 p.m. So it's live. And I just want to thank you guys all for watching us. Thank you to my guests. You guys are amazing. And good luck to all that you're doing. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Thanks for coming out and being a part of this fun. Until next time, good night, Angels.
Bye.
You're listening to Life Angels with Tracy Lynn, right here on LA Talk Radio.